We have more ways to meet people than ever. Apps can show us hundreds of faces before breakfast. And yet, when two people are actually standing close enough to kiss, a lot of us seem less sure of what to do. Take Spencer. He's 31, British, and he's kissed one person in his life. It happened when he was 29. The date itself sounded promising. A walk, drinks, ice cream, then dinner at her place. He found her attractive. There was chemistry. Then they kissed, and instead of feeling exciting, it felt mechanical, like both of them had reached the part of the evening where a kiss was supposed to happen. 2 years later, it's still his only kiss. And strangely, he says a second kiss now feels like a bigger leap than sex. Spencer is unusual, of course, but the feeling underneath his story isn't. A recent YouGov poll found that more than a third of British adults were kissing romantically less often than 5 years earlier. Almost 1 in 9 hadn't had a romantic kiss in more than a year. Among 18 to 24-year-olds, 4 in 10 said they overthought the right moment. Now, a quick reality check. The poll was commissioned by a mouth care brand. It doesn't prove that Britain has literally stopped kissing, but it does point to something recognizable. You go on a date. It goes well. You stay for one more drink. You walk toward the station slowly because neither of you really wants the evening to end. Then you reach the entrance. There's a pause. One person reaches for their phone. The other says, "Text me when you get home." And that's it. No one was rejected. No one did anything wrong. Maybe both people were trying to be respectful. Maybe neither was interested. Or maybe both wanted the same thing and were waiting for the other person to make it safe. That's the part one finds interesting. Fewer unwanted kisses is clearly progress. But what if wanted kisses are disappearing too? What if the real change isn't desire, but our willingness to risk one awkward moment? Once every romantic moment starts to feel like a decision you have to get right, doing nothing can feel safer than finding out.
Dating apps usually get blamed for this, and partly that makes sense. When another match is always one swipe away, the person in front of you can start to feel replaceable. Why risk making tonight awkward if tomorrow might bring an easier option? But the phone does something else too. It brings an audience into moments that used to be private. An awkward kiss can become a voice note to 5 friends. A badly worded message can become a screenshot. A date can be retold, reviewed, and given a verdict before you even get home. Most of the time, nobody is actually filming us, but we still behave as if the footage exists. You can feel this happening in real time. Instead of thinking, "Do I like this person?" you start thinking, "Do I look too eager? Am I misreading this? What will they say about me later?" You're still on the date, but part of you is already watching it from outside. That's what I mean by the audition effect. And intimacy is terrible at auditions. It needs room for a laugh at the wrong moment, for somebody to lean in, then stop, for a question that doesn't come out smoothly. None of that looks impressive. But that's how people learn to read each other. Carrie, who is 23, said her final 2.5 years of school happened online during the pandemic. Since then, she's been on plenty of dates, but nothing has happened. She doesn't know how to take charge of the moment, and she doesn't want to look foolish. Her dates may have felt exactly the same. So perhaps we didn't just lose time during the pandemic. Some people lost rehearsal, ordinary parties, bad flirting, harmless embarrassment, seeing what works, getting it wrong, and trying again. This is where the conversation can go wrong. Some people say consent made romance too clinical. I don't think that's the real problem. Consent asks, does this person want this too? Anxiety asks, can I be certain I won't be rejected, misunderstood, or embarrassed? Those are very different questions. Asking, can I kiss you, can be warm, playful, even very sexy. Clear permission doesn't remove chemistry. What removes chemistry is expecting the other person to guarantee the entire outcome before you show any desire at all. And if we demand that level of certainty, we don't become better at intimacy. We simply get better at avoiding it.
There's one thing in the same survey that complicates the whole story.
Parents with children under 5, people who are tired, busy, and constantly interrupted, were more likely than adults overall to say they'd kissed someone romantically in the previous 24 hours, 41% versus 29%. The parent sample was small, only 139 people, so don't turn that into a universal rule, but it does suggest something useful. Maybe lack of time isn't always the main problem. Maybe it's the feeling of being evaluated. In an established relationship, one clumsy kiss usually doesn't decide your future. You don't have to prove that you're desirable in a 10-second window. Affection can be ordinary. It can happen while dinner is burning, somebody is looking for a missing shoe, and the kitchen is a mess. New intimacy is different. Every small move can feel like evidence. Too eager, too cold, too inexperienced, too much, not enough. And to be clear, kissing less isn't automatically sad. Some people genuinely prefer being single. Some are happier leaving bad relationships than forcing intimacy for its own sake. And a world with fewer unwanted kisses is a better world. The question is more personal than that, though. When you don't make a move, is it because you don't want to? Or because you do want to, but you can't bear the possibility of looking foolish? From the outside, those two choices can look exactly the same. They don't feel the same from the inside, because this isn't really about one kiss. We use the same nerve when we introduce ourselves, ask someone out, apologize first, or tell someone we care before we know what they'll say back. If every uncertain interaction feels like a judgment on who we are, eventually we stop reaching. So what do we do with that? Definitely not pressure people or bring back guessing games. It's probably much less dramatic. More places where people can meet without performing, clearer words, and a little more tolerance for being inexperienced. At the end of the story, Spencer says he no longer really cares about kissing or sex. He says, "I just want connection." He's not asking for a perfect kiss. He wants to feel close to somebody. That may be what a lot of people are missing. Not desire, not even opportunity. Just the nerve to enter a moment before it has been made completely safe. And no app can do that part for us.